So Ani Bojo, Kenawia, Kelly Dishnakas, Hiawatha, Donjaba, Gigando Dem. Hi everybody, my name is Kelly and I am an Anishinaabe Ojibwe from the Mississauga territory of Hiawatha First Nation, and I represent the Pike Clan. I have been dancing since I could walk, essentially. Dancing for me from the time I was little was a way for me to heal. I had some trauma when I was a young child, and I found that dancing was a way for me to control my own body. I always had control over my own body, and I expressed the way that I felt through dance where I couldn't speak it. So as I got older, I really wanted to know more about my culture because of the Indian Act and residential schools. My grandfather was very disconnected from culture, so we didn't know anything about it, and you couldn't ask him about it. He was self-loathing. He did not want to admit or acknowledge that he was Indigenous, so unfortunately we didn't know anything, we didn't have any teachings, and we weren't introduced to culture. It wasn't until I was an adult in my 30s and I met a drummer, a powwow singer, and then I was able to, it opened a door for me, and I learned everything I could learn, and I took to the dances pretty fast because I felt them with everything I am. And for me to be able to, incorporate dancing and my culture and the powwow drum was just, I can't even put into words how absolutely amazing and healing that was and continues to be for me. So women's jingle is what I'm wearing right now. So that is the Ojibwe's contribution to the powwow trail. It is a healing dance, and if you can, when you listen to the sounds, just to kind of imitate the sound of raindrops or water. So water is cleansing and purifying. So if you go to a powwow and you know anybody who's suffering mentally, physically, or spiritually, you can offer the dancer sema. So sema is one of our 4 sacred medicines. So then the dancer will dance with the tobacco and do those prayers, and at the end put the tobacco and those prayers in sacred fire so they could be taken to the Creator. So Jingle is a very powerful dance. To me, I feel that it is. I believe in the dress, and I believe in the power of that dress, and I put it on when I'm feeling down, when I know somebody isn't doing well, even if it's just in my kitchen, and I do a side step and I pray for them, and I don't know, I love it. Yeah, I'm very, very passionate about the jingle dress for sure. Part of being a jingle dress dancer is responsibility to community and going out there and doing that work. So when we did the march on Indigenous Peoples Day, we marched from St. Peter's Church to Crary Park. So there was a handful of us jingle dress dancers that led the way, and it's for that healing. So we prayed for those children and for the survivors when we did that march. So that's why you normally will see jingle dress dancers kind of on the front line of those marches, because it's their work to do that healing for the community. Residential schools have been a big passion of mine for a long time. When I say passion, I mean wanting to learn everything I can about them, about the Indian Act. I want to know what happened, why my grandfather was the way he was, why Indigenous people have this stigma, what happened, why was there such a breakdown in culture that myself and a lot of people I know grew up lost, So when the bodies of those children were found, I wasn't surprised, because our elders and our survivors have been telling us that they were there for years. People just didn't want to listen. But it is horrific in the fact that even when you know something to be true, you know it in your spirit, you know it in your heart, and you know that what people are saying is absolutely true, it's still kind of horrifying and solidifying when those bodies are discovered. Oh, right. That is why we were so messed up, because they've tried to kill us for thousands of years. My grandfather wasn't allowed to practice any dance styles the way that I do now. The way that I'm standing in front of you doing this interview is something my grandfather could never do. even after they made it legal, because he still felt that shame. So the fact that I'm standing here in front of you talking about my culture makes me proud, and it's something that it's sad to say that I know that I'm blessed to be able to do that, because thousands before me could not. So it's not just that I'm blessed. This is my duty. This is, as an Indigenous person who learns teachings and knows the culture, it's so important for us to be out there for the youth, to let them know that being Indigenous is amazing and there's nothing wrong with it.